Welcome to Martini Time. Another beautiful day here in Blackstone, the center of the world, but then you too are at the center of the world. So, as Jackie Gleason said, how sweet it is. Today, in my writing on Facebook, which is where I play, I was using this wrote about this metaphor of the bad day cup. Now, a friend of mine gave me this, but it's backwards now. It says bad day on here, and as you can see, it's bent. See that? Isn't that neat? And so my friend gave me this, and she had it. She had another one made. A local potter. She said, "Could you make me some?" And the potter made one, but she said it was so difficult trying to make a bad cup because it was her art to make perfect cups. And to make a purposefully bad cup was very, very difficult. And I thought that was very interesting. So let's talk about this as a metaphor. You know, I come up with these, all of this stuff here on my counter here. Everything basically are metaphors that objects that I use metaphorically to help us make the unconscious conscious. That's my aim in my own personal life and in my writings and what I share with you, which is my personal life. my discoveries, I share with you. Look what I found. So when I find a metaphor, I say, look what I found. Because a metaphor like this helps us make the unconscious conscious. And it's the unconscious that creates the suffering. So when we make the unconscious conscious, we have less suffering, less mental suffering, less conflict, less confusion, chaos, negativity, all of that, you see. So let me explain how this metaphor works today, because I find it really very good to helping us get a handle on why we suffer. Now imagine this to be the psyche. Now I say psyche instead of the mind because the psyche kind of like is more young. It contains everything. Body, mind, the world, the whole works, you see. Archetypes, everything. Complexes, the works, you see. So inside this cup, you have an alphabet soup. And the letters are all running around in there. And we are in this alphabet soup. And the letters are my thinking. So I think in terms of what I can write with the alphabet soup. And in this soup here is also the world that I see, because I think about that, and whatever I think, I perceive, you see, and I perceive, I think. So it's all interrelated. I think about the world, I worry about the world, I worry about me, I think about me, yada, yada, yada. It's all in here in the alphabet soup. So there's really a me in the world in the alphabet soup. Okay. And now I'm inside the soup, and I think the external world I see is also in the soup because it's all my mind, you see. The world I experience out there is what I experience in my mind. I don't experience the world per se. I experience my mind's filtering of it, what my mind creates for me. I experience and say, oh, that's out there. So we don't really know. Anyway, let's go back to the soup. So we're in the soup, and the soup has a shape because it's in a cup, you see. So the outside of the cup, the mind, the psyche, shapes what's inside, but the inside can't see the outside because you're inside of it, you see. So it's bent. It has a certain shape to it. And that affects the way I see the world. I see the world with a bend in it, but I can't see the bend, you see. So whenever I join any kind of ideology, religion, worldview, political party, anything that creates a meaning reality, that gives me a reference for meaning. What does that mean? Well, I'll check my group, you see. Of course, religions are very strong in this because you see the world through the lens of that religion. And the political parties now do that, where you see the world through the lens of your political affiliation, and the other, you know, and now you got even two realities, fake and real, so forth. But it's all inside the cup, and the bend in the cup shapes the soup, you see. So we can't find this. So we feel like something's wrong with the soup. It's too salty. It's too sweet. It's too hot. It's too cold. Something's wrong with the soup, and so we keep running around inside the soup trying to find out what's wrong because we can't see it's the bend in the soup. It's the bend in the cup. I'm in a bad day cup, and I can't see it. You see, because I'm only inside the cup. So when we get into a spiritual practice, we get into a spiritual practice because we suffer. And we get into a spiritual practice because we realize that changing the outside world, fixing it, shooting it, doing something to it, doesn't relieve the suffering. So we say, what's going on here? I may spend my whole life trying to fix the world, and I'm still the same suffering person. The cup is still bent, you see. So when we come to that turning point, something happens, and we begin to turn within and disengage from the alphabet soup. We say something's wrong. I'm not my thinking. I am not my thinking. So I begin to be interested in what the mind is doing. I begin to be curious about what the soup is doing. Oh, how did I react to that? Isn't that it? I just repeated that. I keep doing this over and over. Same rituals, same actions I keep doing over and over. So I become curious. Why am I doing that, you see? What's going on here? Let me look. Let me let go of my attachment to the alphabet and to the soup as the shape of the soup by the cup, you see. And so gradually, this is not a perfect metaphor, so don't hold me to it. It's a loose thing, you see. But the spiritual practice is becoming aware that my cup is bent. It's the bend in the cup, you see. And when I see this, when I begin to see that my worldview has got a bend in it, and I begin to see that the worldview has got a bend in it because I'm identifying with a particular worldview of a group or an ideology or something that's got a bend in it, you see. That's what makes it different, you see. If I see the world through that group's ideology or lens, that group has a bent in it. That's what makes it unique. If there was no bend and no dent in it, there would not be unique, you see. So we join these groups to be unique, and we join the one that says, I'm the true group, I'm the true truth, I'm the everlasting truth, you see. My group has the true view. Are we back on? Okay, we had a bad day here. The bad day cup got me. I dropped my connection, but I'm back. So anyway, the point of the bad day cup is that when we begin to become curious and seeing the bend in our cup, you see, the cup becomes transparent. And we no longer see the world through that prism or that bend. And our world begins to straighten out. Our world begins to function. Our world begins to be in alignment with reality instead of being out of alignment with reality. See, when I live in a bent cup, I'm out of alignment with reality because reality is not bent. Reality is not bent, you see. It's just reality, just this. There's no bend to it. There's no need to see it through it. There's no prism that reflects. When you let light go through water, it bends, you see. So the cup, the psyche that identifies with a group or an ideology or anything and surrenders its freedom to it becomes bent. And so becomes conditioned. And so the spiritual path basically is the intention to make that transparent, to see through it. And to have clarity again. And clarity means joy, insight, creativity. You're in alignment with the world instead of against it. You see. So I hope this metaphor helps you get a handle on your bad day. Thanks for dropping in.